Hi, and welcome to Sunset Rewind. I'm Kevin Dole along with Mo Padios. Today we're continuing along with our preview show of the Sunset League. We're going to talk about the Huntington Beach Oilers today, Coach. So they are led by a talented senior linebacker who is just ferocious, Nate Tauanuhu, who we had in here as a guest last week. The kid is just a great young man, plays with speed, plays fast. You don't want to run into this guy if you're a ball carrier or a pass receiver. He's obviously going to be the leader of the defense this year. What can you tell us about him?
Well, when they walked in, I saw him and thought, man,
yeah,
that's just one of those guys you don't want any part of. I mean, he looks the part. He's kind of quiet, and he's got that, kind of low. But, he's got a lot of energy built up, and he's going to take it out on a lot of players.
You're going to see number 9 flying all over the field this year.
He's a heck of a football player, and he's definitely going to be one of the leaders on that Oiler football team.
They have a very talented wide receiver and defensive back named VanderMaid, who's not going to come off the field a lot, but he's going to be like the primary weapon for the quarterbacks that we'll get to in a moment. But he creates space, he creates yard after carry, and defensively, he's a shutdown defender. So he's going to be instrumental to the Oilers' success too this year.
Yeah, look, he's a two-way starter. He's legit. He's athletic, kind of off script. One of the competitions we're doing this year is the cup stacking challenge.
Right.
This guy was half a second away from
He did it like in 10 seconds, right?
Well, he had it.
Right.
World record quality, and then he adjusted the top trying to be a good guy, and the thing collapsed on him. I mean, he would have been on TikTok because I've never seen anything like that.
That was impressive, yeah.
That'll be on another episode. You can watch that. But, yeah, great receiver, great DB, and has the potential to be a heck of a cup stacker. I don't know what that's going to do for him in life. Maybe get him on TikTok, but a good football player nonetheless.
Nathan's little brother, Justin Tauanuhu, is a junior offensive lineman, and this guy is the premier blocker for the Oilers, and you do not want to get in his way. He's already garnered multiple scholarship offers from Pac-12 and all the Mountain West schools. He is an absolute dude, and this is the kind of guy where if you see him on your offensive line, your running back, you're like, thank you.
Well, as a former player, the first thing we look at is a scouting report as a lineman, and the first thing you look at on the scouting report is the guy you're going against. And when you see 6'4", 6'5", 6'7", 280, 290, you're just kind of getting a little small in your chair.
Right.
Like, dude, I got to go against this guy for 4 quarters. He's one of those type of guys. And again, he's only a junior, so he's only going to get bigger and stronger. So if I'm a quarterback, I love him on my blind side. If I'm a running back, I want him leading.
If you're a D coordinator from an opposing team, how do you prepare for this guy?
Well, you just tell your defensive lineman, get low and get off the block. Because if you're going to try to go square up against him, it's going to be a tough challenge.
Jack Jarasitano is a junior running back who's relatively new to the squad, but Coach told us that this kid is, how much was he benching in squatting, Coach?
So we asked him about players who were going to step up that didn't necessarily play in the offseason or last year, but who's kind of shown you what they can do this offseason. He's squatting 500 pounds.
500 pounds.
500
the quarter of a ton.
Exactly. Is that what that is? 2,000?
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay, this guy can squat a quarter of a ton.
Wow.
So when he's got the ball and he's loaded to the ground with leverage, good luck bringing him down.
And in football, the lowest guy always wins, right? The guy that gets the leverage.
So with a guy like this, you need all 11 bodies coming at him at once because one-on-one, that guy's a load. And again, that's another guy I would not want any part of.
Vaughn Pop, senior quarterback, kind of have a little quarterback competition going on here at Huntington Beach. So talk about Vaughn first. He was a really, really gifted quarterback on JV, and they like the way he moves the ball around, and he has some, decent targets like VanderMaid that he can get the ball to. But, like I said, we'll get to the next quarterback. There's going to be a little quarterback competition. What do you see Pop doing in this offense?
Well, look, let's talk about the competition for a minute. Transfer from Catella, quarterback Dante Bell came in.
Mm-hmm.
He's pushing the quarterback. There are no sacred cows on the football field. Every job is available.
Here's Bell right here,
and
the senior transfer.
Right, and just because you were the starter one year doesn't mean you're going to be the starter the next year. So competition is good. It pushes you. It drives you. It makes you better. Who's going to start? I don't know, but I know they've done a lot of passing leagues this offseason.
Right.
And the coach has got a lot of film to look at to evaluate these guys. Maybe he does some kind of platooning system. Maybe somebody steps up and just earns the job outright. I don't know, but what I do know is they've got depth at the quarterback now. So if one player was to go down, you got another guy who can step up and fill the shoes.
Yeah, Bell himself was a 2-year starter at Catella, and he comes over to the Oilers this year. So that's kind of a cool thing. You got that little healthy quarterback competition going on. And, there's, nothing wrong with a platoon system if that's what works for your offense. And,
There's an old saying in football: if you got a quarterback problem, you've got a problem.
Right.
Right.
Or if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have any.
Exactly. And again, there's some truth to that. But if they're both equal, then maybe the coach has to make that decision.
Yeah.
But hopefully, one of them will step up in the offseason. Or remember, the whole goal is to get into the playoffs and win league.
Right.
Maybe they use that preseason non-league schedule to evaluate both quarterbacks because it's still an ongoing process. But remember, last year, Huntington Beach, they only lost 2 games by a small margin. Had they won at least one of those games, they would have been in the playoffs. All right, so you don't want to experiment too much in non-league play, especially when you're trying to rack up wins as you head into Sunset League play.
Absolutely. Jad Hoffman, once again, here we are.
What a surprise, another kicker who's ranked.
Kicker in the Sunset League.
Yeah.
This guy can hit from 55 yards. You can see this guy's been well coached. Just the kicking form there. What a nice weapon to have. If it's 4th down and you're on the 40-yard line, you don't have to necessarily just concede to the punt. We can give
nice weapon
Mr. Hoffman a try here and kick.
Again, offense, defense, and special teams. If you're going to be a champion, all 3 of those components have to come together, and certainly having a quality kicker is a part of that.
So here's the Huntington Beach schedule for this year. As we can see, tough preseason schedule. They open with Mayfair. The intriguing games to me are El Toro, your alma mater, and Marina. Look at that. They got their little crosstown rivals who used to be in the Sunset League.
A former Sunset League opponent, and Marina actually is a rival game. A lot of people don't realize that. We talk about the Battle of the Bay and the Bell game, but because they were in the Sunset League for so many years, Marina, that was the rival game. So, winning that in and of itself can help you have a season you can be proud of. But again, as I look at the schedule, they just got to rack up wins in that preseason.
Right.
Worst case, 4-1. Knock out a couple teams in Sunset League play. Now, look, can they make a run for the league championship? 100%. But if at the very least they get in the playoffs, remember the way the division is set up now with CIF, they're going to put you in a division that's appropriate based on your strength of schedule. So if you get in the playoffs, they can be last year's Newport Harbor, where they go to a division that's is doable and get a ring. They won it back in 2000. I want to say, was it 13?
13, correct.
2013. Yeah. So maybe this is their year. We got a lot of football to play, but anything's possible.
So one of their keys to success this year is going to be to pound the rock. Hey, you got Jarasitano back there, man. Let's see that guy get his engine going. I think that's a kid who could be a 1,000-yard rusher for the Oilers.
Here's the other thing. There's so many good offenses in the Sunset League. Keep them on the sidelines. We talk about great defense.
Yeah.
You know what's better than great defense? When they're on the sideline watching the
Control the clock.
100%.
Yeah.
So you can literally get an offense cold, literally and figuratively. Remember, league comes in the fall. October evening, it gets cold out there. And if you're just watching the game and the clock is dying, it can get frustrating, especially as an offensive coordinator. Certainly the players are getting cold, so keep them on the sideline. Run the ball, shorten that game.
All you got to do is get 4 yards of carry, and you'll never give the ball away, right?
That's right, all the way into the end zone.
Now the key to success for the Oilers is play smart and disciplined football. Be disciplined, be smart. Don't jump off sides. Know the cadence.
Just keep everything in front
stuff
of you.
like
we
that.
know these offenses have great explosive players. Keep them in front of you. Nobody gets by you. No big plays. Play smart, sound football, like you said.
In Huntington Beach, like you said, they were so close last year. Had they gone 5-5, they'd probably get into a division where they're probably going to be one of the top 4 teams, where they would have had a chance to actually win CIF. So, that's what I mean. If they play smart and disciplined next year, maybe that's the thing that takes them to the next level. Because remember, all you got to do is get in the playoffs. You just got to get invited to the dance. That's all you got to do, and anything can happen. Ask Newport Harbor that.
Right. Isn't it amazing the difference between a successful season and somewhat of a disappointment that if they just won one of those games, one of them they were up 14-0 in the fourth quarter.
Right.
And that was Aliso Viejo, and the El Toro game was close too. So, there's a fine line between success
and failure.
They
were right there.
So can they take that step and do what they want to do this year to get to the playoffs and make a run in CIF?
I think that's going to be one of the most intriguing storylines in the Sunset League this year is Huntington Beach. Can they get to that next level?
Let's find out. Tune in.
Well, thank you for joining us for another Sunset Rewind. I'm Kevin Dole. I'm Mo Padios. You're Mo Padios, right? Have a great day. Thanks for watching. God bless you.